Hello, everyone, and welcome to Let's Take 5, the podcast where we take a cinema legend and then take 5 of their films to highlight their excellence and range. My name is Austin Luger.
My name is Ray Martindale.
And this is week 4 of our Jodie Foster 5. Previously, we have covered Taxi Driver, The Accused, and The Silence of the Lambs. And next week, we're going to be covering Contact. But today, we're going to go towards, obviously, her masterpiece, Maverick.
Good intro.
You're welcome, everyone. Maverick is a 1994 film by...
1991.
Nope, my notes are wrong, I think.
Okay.
By Richard Donner. Writer is William Goldman, who is bound to be an Oscar winner.
Yeah.
He did Butch Cassidy and All Apprentice Men, and Maverick. And Maverick is based off...
And Maverick's better.
Maverick's better than those movies. Better than Marathon Man, better than Princess Bride. Maverick is based off a 1960s Western TV show with Mel Gibson playing Brett Maverick, who is a coward by trade, who is looking to get the last bit of money he needs to enter the big poker tournament so he can prove himself to be a great gambler. In order to do that, he must basically pull off any con and any favor he has nearby. And most of the movie, he is traveling with Annabelle Bransford, played by Jodie Foster, and Coop, Marshall Zane Cooper, played by James Gardner. And it's a silly movie. It's a very silly movie that I'm not entirely sure why I have so much affection for. It definitely has some nostalgia to it because I watched it when I was a kid. But also, this is a world where it's just Looney Tunes. Like,
yeah.
Everyone is conning everyone. The violence is all like you fall down to get back up again. It's just a very fun world to be in, and that allows a lot of these actors to just embrace that.
Yeah, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head, the perfect segue into why I don't think the movie's very good.
Yeah.
Is because, first of all, I guess I should quantify that a little bit. I don't hate this movie. I find this movie completely unoffensive one way or another. It doesn't please me. It doesn't anger me. It doesn't upset me. It was just 2 hours that is gone now after having seen it. Now, I do remember my brother had a big thing for Mel Gibson movies in the 90s, you know, like Payback, you know, Lethal Weapons, and Maverick. So if I've seen this movie, and I'm pretty sure I had before this, I mean, I can't think of another Mel Gibson Western. So, yeah. So I'd probably seen this movie, and it probably would have lurked, that would have been like when I was 13 or 14, probably when I would have seen it, which I probably would have, I wish I would have known and sat down and liked Maverick and watched it then, because I probably would have a much higher opinion of it than I do. But you said that the characters basically nothing ever changes. Everyone's trying to con everyone, and they can really embrace that, and they do. Some to more effect than others, but that is it. That's it. These characters don't really move. They don't evolve. They don't change. They don't really do anything but play the same shtick you saw in the first minute is the same one you saw 2 hours and 5 minutes later. And that probably more than anything, and in particular with Jodie Foster, because, you know, you hear about, like, the rule of threes, you know, like something to be, especially in comedy, right? You know, so like the first time it happens, we chuckle. Second time, we don't laugh. Third time, we laugh really hard because it's the third time, right? How many times does Annabelle try to steal something from Brett in this movie?
Frequently.
Yeah, frequently, right? So like probably 3 times the first time they meet, and it ceases to be funny at a certain point, and it borders on tedium and being a little obnoxious, only because she plays the same con every time. She tries to sleep with him, and eventually she does, and then she tries to rob him, and that's basically the relationship the entire movie. She tries to rob him, he either catches her or doesn't, and then he tries to get it back, and that's what keeps happening the entire film. And by the end of it, I'm bored. That's basically where I'm at.
Well, I will agree that this film is too long. You know, putting this DVD in, had not seen this film in probably 10 years. For some reason, I still had, like, all these lines memorized still. Like, I knew all the scenes that are about to happen, but I did not think it was 2 hours long.
I couldn't believe it.
I thought it was 90 minutes long. And
it should have been. It would have been a better movie.
It should have, because, like, Richard Donner does so many, like, he does so many shots that aren't jokes, which is weird, 'cause, like, now studio comedies are like every single thing has to be a joke.
Sure.
So, like, early on, which I think is a really fun sequence, when he is establishing himself in town and says that he will not win for an hour. It's a really fun thing, but, like, that montage, there's a few times where he's, like, flirting and doing some jokes, like, his cards are backwards.
The movie's quite good at that point.
Other
Everything
times-
I think's working.
They're just playing cards.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a joke. They're just playing cards. And there's these kind of moments in
Action
every
sequences,
scene.
too. That
Oh, yeah. Everyone gets hit, falls down. But what Jodie Foster's character, what I liked about so much about her was she never felt like the girlfriend role, which is a problem in so many, like, comedies where, like, okay, she gets, like, no jokes, she's to the side, she's the one going, like, oh, Hitch, why are you doing those things? Something that's so amusing about this character to me is that even her accent is fake, so every time she's on screen, she is lying. And so much of her lying is based around messing with the loyalty of people. So it's about, like, what you think of being affectionate towards her, or she is warming up to Coop to insult Maverick. Like, it's all these things that's always dependent on these elements. And Jodie Foster, first of all, I think her timing is really strong. And even when she has to do the most sitcom-y of lines, like when Maverick asks, the widows how much money was gone, she smacks them and says, no, but really, how much money is gone? That weirdly works in a way of, like, I think you would have been really good in Arrested Development. Like, because Arrested Development does those kind of sitcom-y lines, but the characters work so well, and
They're
the
delivered
world
honestly.
fits. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, no, as far as... Go ahead.
Yeah, so I feel like all the actors are doing that well. And the script weirdly just works for me. Even though it's very repetitive, there actually is a spoiler that we have to talk about, because knowing it, and it does pay off well, and all the clues are there.
Yeah, we'll get to that spoiler, and we'll discuss whether it pays off or not. So, Okay, so I agree with you, actually, quite a bit there. This has to be... I mean, Jodie Foster, as far as jokes a minute, you mentioned jokes a minute, and getting the jokes and, being funny. And this movie has a lot of jokes that aren't funny. But Jodie Foster, by and large, I think she bats the highest, she has the highest batting average as far as how many jokes and how many were actually funny and actually landed. And I think you're right. I think it's because, I will give the movie this credit, everything is character-based. All the jokes make sense that the characters would do this. I can't believe they're still alive. But that said...
Because there's no real death in this world.
No, there is no death in this world. That's kind of... But there's still danger and violence in a weird way.
Right.
I mean, people are killed in this movie, but towards the end, and not as many as you would think would be.
Right.
Like, this movie's set in a Western setting. This movie is not a Western.
It's a cartoon world.
It's a cartoon, right,
Yeah.
Exactly, like you said. So, her jokes are great. Mel Gibson's are not. Mel Gibson is not funny in this movie. This is one of my least favorite Mel Gibson performances. And I'm not that Mel Gibson is somehow, like, on the, Mount Olympus of acting, but he's a good actor, and he's done a lot of good performances. He is not funny at all.
I disagree.
Oh, man.
Maybe there's still some nostalgia goggles on, but, Mel Gibson as a person is very problematic, but so whenever I watch, like, this or Lethal Weapon, I go, God damn it, he's the most, like, charismatic guy. And I find him so charismatic. Even though not every joke lands, this is a very smile-heavy movie.
Yeah.
For me.
And he's always smiling at the camera. He's doing the Tina Fey.
So we're smiling together.
No, yeah, you guys look at each other and he winks. Dink!
Yeah.
That's the type of humor I just don't go down for.
Sure.
That's why I have to, like, mute Tina Fey credit card commercials. Because she's hyper aware of the camera and she knows she's telling a joke for you on your couch. The world she's actually inhabiting is not a real world.
Yes.
She's inhabiting a commercial, and she's looking at you laughing and wanting you to laugh with her. That's the way Mel Gibson is in this movie to me. And that type of humor is just begging for you to laugh. Like, it really feels like it's almost... I mean, the only thing that would make it hammier is a laugh track. But I feel one. Yes, I feel like a laugh track in this movie wouldn't be that weird. So, yeah, go ahead and defend him. Go ahead.
I don't know. I think it's one of those, like, it's 100% subjective. Like,
yeah.
Because we could talk about kind of the jokes and tone, but the movie is entirely based on his charm. That is the anchor of the film. And if that doesn't work for you, then, oh boy, it's a long movie.
Yeah.
But there's something very amusing about the fact that Maverick is not a traditional hero. The fact that he is a coward and remains a coward by the end and spends most of the day failing, but failing in still the handsome hero way. Like, at the gunfight, it's actually Coop who's firing all the bullets. His big action sequences are him falling off the carriage.
That scene was incredible.
I love that scene. That scene's great. And also, they're both just being assholes to him instead of the thing. Mm-hmm. And even, like, the scene that I thought would be problematic in 2017, but I actually don't think so, when his buddy Joseph makes him dress up like an Indian to get shot by white men.
No, that's...
I thought it was really funny, because...
that's actually the best part of the movie.
It's playing off these racist white guys, and...
the whole joke is on...
Yeah, almost that.
I mean, it's kind of interesting, since
worked so well
since we're on the topic.
Yeah,
like, this movie is, I think... As comedy, comedy, typically you're allowed to sort of push the envelope a little further anyway. You get a little more... You can go a little further before people cry foul. Mm-hmm. But, first of all, you had a Native American actor playing the main Indian in the movie. And this movie makes no bones about how white people stole all the land.
He has that great line going, I'm going to go to a swamp down south and see if you guys will take that one.
Take that too, yeah. And then, like, the Indian to the side is always calling him, you white people are a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
And I think that all works. And, you would think it might be problematic. Because as soon as I saw it start, with the Indians coming out there, I was like, oh boy, here we go.
Right. And yet, it's more of commenting on the John Wayne Westerns. And I've never seen the old show, but probably maybe how they were depicted there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the Indian enemy in this are white guys dressed as Indians being drunk assholes.
Yeah. And I thought that was actually a kind of a clever sequence where Brett, who's the Mel Gibson, can speak their language. Mm-hmm. So he's telling them to start, whooping it up, so they are intimidating the people, and he's acting like he's bartering with them for his life, but he isn't, to play against Annabelle and Coop. And that, I thought, actually worked really well. That was actually a clever sequence. There was a period of time where the movie was pretty good, and that was all into it. It was the carriage ride, which, from a practical effects perspective, that'd be CGI today. So much of that would be CGI. It's actually a really awesome sequence where this guy's climbing on this horse carriage that's run away, jumping up on each horse, getting pulled by the cart. It all works. I mean, the adventure there...
Crashing and everything.
Right. I wish there was more of that in the movie and less of the dumb jokes.
There's a dumb joke afterwards. I think it's still brilliant, because ultimately after he saves the day, he still falls off the cliff. He's hanging on the edge. And he's still so mad at the two of them that as he's holding onto the edge with two hands, he pulls out a gun with one hand and points at him.
That whole sequence was good. The sequence with the Russian in the woods I liked too, which we don't need to go into that any further.
But to go back to the Annabelle character, something I think what made her not a typical romantic comedy female throwaway character is that I don't think the movie is actually very romantic. When they do sleep together, it's because they both want to have sex. Mm-hmm. They actually just enjoy each other's presence so much, and the more they distrust each other, the more they're actually having fun. So the last line in the movie actually is a very fun thing, which is...
What, the penis joke?
Well, no, after that.
Oh, okay.
Which is, why do you want to, why'd you put half the money in the satchel? Well, I know why. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun to get it back. These three are just scumbags that never spend the money. They just enjoy stealing from each other.
I'm still waiting on Maverick 2. Yeah.
I would love a Maverick sequel. I mean, that will never get financed. Also, James Garner sadly passed away.
Yeah, James Garner.
But no, I would love. I would love older version of these two still stealing from each other. Richard Donner had to have passed away, right?
I have no idea.
Is he just out of the business?
Yeah, I don't know. My favorite Donner film is The Goonies, man. So maybe we'll cover that one day on our Donner file.
Oh, I like this better than The Goonies.
Oh, you're nuts. So But maybe I have my nostalgia glasses on for that. But
See, I never watched the one as much as a kid.
I think an independent reviewer, though, would more than likely side with me.
I mean, William Goldman, the guy wrote books on screenplays.
It's weird. Anyway, so one thing, you talk about the female character, she's not sort of this, like, discardable character, and that is true for most of the movie. I did find one thing kind of odd. So at the very end of the movie, they're playing a poker game on a steamboat, and it is a fun sequence where, because again, I didn't hate the movie. I just didn't like it. But there's this fun sequence on the steamboat where they're playing the poker, and people are getting cheating or getting thrown off the boat. Like, that's all really fun. And Annabelle's great at poker in her own right, so she predictably makes the final table as well. And she loses first on the final table, or close to first. And
She's
everyone...
like the fifth out, or fourth out.
So it's fourth.
You need Alfred Molina, James Corbin, and Mel Gibson.
And Mel Gibson was there, but Corbin's character, the Commodore Duvall, had just shown up. So he just shows up in the end as kind of like a villain at the end. But so because the whole time you think Alfred Molina is a villain, and he is for the most part because he's pursuing Maverick. But she's beaten, and she gives a tell that everyone noticed, and then she's like, "I didn't do that, did I?" I thought that was really kind of. Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Get off our table, woman. Like, I don't know, just that one little time. She was so good at poker, it seemed to me that she would have known she was making that tell a little bit.
You know, that is fair, especially because Maverick told her about the tell earlier.
Yeah.
That didn't pay off as well, because we see her do the tell in the first poker sequence. When he loses for an hour, he's watching everyone's tells.
Yeah.
It's a cheap way to get out of the table.
It did. It seemed a little cheap. I would have almost liked it better if it came down to those two, but I know it couldn't for the plot's sake.
Well, it's I hear a lot of people who adore poker hate a lot of poker movies, and this is one of the worst offenses because poker is a really great, sophisticated game that never ends with a royal flush and a four of a kind. And
granted, what I got from that though was. The guy was dealing from the bottom of the deck. Actually, I thought this was clever. I actually didn't mind it here for this reason. He was dealing from the bottom of the deck. Mm-hmm. The idea there is to give everyone a great hand and have them be betting thinking they're going to win.
Right.
And that's so that's why the one guy had a four of a kind.
That's true. That's actually,
so he wanted him to bet. Now, the royal flush is a little different because I can't remember how many cards he drew. They're playing 5-card draw, but anyway, the point still remains. At least for the four of a kind's sake, he wanted him to think he was going to win, so he would bet it all.
That's fair.
Anyway, do we talk about the spoiler now?
I think we should. Yeah. So, I've never seen the original series, but I understand that James Gardner was the star of it. So he played Maverick. Mm-hmm. So it turns out, it seems to imply, again, I don't fully know the Maverick mythology. It's revealed at the very end that Cooper is, in fact, Maverick's dad, which is fun because the actors both play that the whole movie, and there are some tells throughout, but which kind of implies this might be a sequel to the TV show.
Yeah.
This is basically Son of Maverick, which worked out well, but also it's revealed later in that Cooper's also a cheating scumbag who just tried to steal all the money on the boat.
Yeah.
He's an asshole too. Well, but also he's working with James Corbin, who's also betrays him.
Okay, this gets to. I literally started laughing hysterically. This has got to be one of the most convoluted endings in the history of cinema. Like there are endings that there are bad endings. There are endings that go on forever. There are good endings that go on forever. Like I think Return of the King. It's all good. It just come on, wrap it up. Mm-hmm. But this movie adds like. The plot of this movie is pretty paper thin anyway. He's got to get to St. Louis for a poker game. That's basically the plot, and he keeps losing his money on the way, his buy-in fee. Mm-hmm. So in the last 10 minutes, we learn like 5,000 things about this plot. We learn, first of all, Cooper tries to steal the money. Then Corbin tries to steal the money. Both of those are twists. Then they're both working in cahoots together, we find out. Mm-hmm. Then tracks them down, then makes them, like, try to kill each other. Mm-hmm. Maverick gets the money back. Sorry, it's this convoluted. Maverick gets the money back. Then Coop beats Coburn over the head to pursue Maverick. Then the next scene, they're in a bathtub together, splitting them up. Wait, what'd I forget?
No, I'm saying two separate bathtubs.
Two separate bathtubs.
You said bathtub together.
Oh, bathtub together, sorry.
Get an image for this
Yes, two separate bathtubs. And in this scene, we're thinking, okay, they're both decided they're friends now, they're going to get the money. Then Annabelle enters, robs them both at gunpoint, makes a penis joke, steals the money, walks away, and then in the last 2 minutes, the last 30 seconds, we find out that they're father and son, and they've been in it together the entire...
No, you find out before Annabelle arrives in.
Oh, really?
Because she says,
okay.
so many similarities, and that starts the penis joke.
Got you. Then the penis joke's made. Then they walk out, and then we find out she didn't actually steal all the money. She only stole $250,000 with it. Okay. That was all in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. I would cut...
I was losing my mind. Like, I was laughing my ass off because it was literally... I've never seen that before. I've never seen so much plot to a movie that didn't need it anyway added in the last 10 minutes of a 2-hour film. I mean, it's crazy.
I think it'd be a lot more coherent if you cut a lot of the James Corbin Commodore stuff.
Yeah.
Honestly, end his character when he almost shoots Coop on the boat from afar with the sniper and says, no, don't do it. Leave him there. Have Maverick, But the problem is...
You could cut to the bathtub scene.
Yeah, obviously cut to the bathtub scene because the reason you can't just have him steal the money from Cooper is because Cooper and Maverick are never alone together.
Right.
Because they would never keep up the facade. Annabelle's always there, so they never reveal their relationship because honor among thieves, basically.
Yeah.
And it's fun because you...
It's crazy.
Oh, it's great. So I like the dad twist. I like Annabelle has done it for a while, but also she's a liar, so we have no idea.
Yeah.
There's a really
What about the Commodore's twist? Because he became a bad guy too in the last 10 minutes.
Again, James Corbin's just fun, and maybe he was also in the original series because he's so old. I assume that he's in most shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of the Commodore stuff didn't really work for me, except for it's just fun to have him scream, "Everybody's got a gun!"
Yeah. What kind of security are you? Yeah, that was pretty funny.
But I thought in that moment I really liked with Annabelle. It was when they were trying to get all the money back and whatnot, and they were kind of describing how great it is to get the money back and how heroic Maverick is, and she never applauds. She's like, "What the hell's going on here?"
Yeah.
They kind of keep cutting back to her. Just very naturally, just not being amused by any of this.
Well, that was another thing that kind of didn't make sense for me a little bit. Just the morality of Maverick. I never really had a handle on it. Sometimes he's a good guy, sometimes he's not. I don't know.
I mean, simpler Han Solo, basically.
Hey, there's a great joke in this movie about a hawk. Do you remember it?
I forgot to look for this.
You remember it? So one joke in this movie is hilarious. Sorry, I know we're about to wrap up here, but I laughed out loud one point. The movie meant to make me laugh out loud, other than the last 10 minutes when I was laughing hysterically. I was like yelling at my girlfriend, "You gotta see this! This is the craziest thing I've ever seen! This movie's been over for 15 minutes." So they're out tracking in the woods, and
this joke. Yeah,
so Maverick says to Annabelle, "Why would I split my money with you? You don't know the first thing about tracking." She's like, "Yes, I do." And then he points over at a hawk and he goes, "Okay, tell me what that hawk means." And then she goes, "I don't know." Yeah, right. It doesn't mean anything. That's right. You're not worthy of the money. Yeah, because she's about to guess. I ruined it, but she's about to guess, and the answer is it doesn't mean anything. Yeah. But you thought that hawk meant something, so that means okay. Anyway, it's a funny joke.
It is.
Yeah,
and they're fun together. I think that's why I enjoyed them as maybe she needed more of her own specific cons, but she was able to she was able to beat him a lot. Also because she knows his vulnerability, which is Maverick really likes his clothes.
Oh yeah,
so just keep fucking with his shirts and you got one up on him.
Yeah, that's true. I guess. Yeah, they're good when they're together. The problem is it's just the same joke.
It worked in their first circumstance because
the first circumstance is good
because she really once she's caught the first time, she plays it even better, and Maverick just like falls for it way more the second time.
Yeah.
And in order because she wants to get the con right, because she really just doesn't care about being romantic with them. All romance in this movie is for laughs.
Yeah.
Like the closest connection anyone has, everyone still steals from each other. Like I love that Joseph, the Native American, is still robbing Maverick as he's getting shot. Like
every one of Maverick's friends owes him money,
Yeah.
and all of them are, weaseling him out of the money he's owed. So
and no one ever spends the money. It's only to pay back debts. No one is ever like buying a new fancy thing. It's
well, the bank robbery part's funny.
Yeah, with the ridiculous meta cameo.
Yeah, was that Danny Glover?
Yeah,
that didn't go anywhere.
no,
He's coming back in the sequel.
yeah. Well, no, because he does all like they look at each other like in the medicines like you, nah.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a horrible joke.
No, then they takes off his thing. Goes,
Yeah, no.
I'm getting too old for this because it's just Lethal Weapon ancestors, I guess.
Oh my gosh, that is the worst joke ever.
It's just a cameo.
Oh my god, that is the worst joke ever. This movie just went down a star to me. That is so bad. How did I not put that together? I guess because, like I said, my brother was a big Mel Gibson fan. And, of course, I know Danny Glover and Mel Gibson are the stars of Lethal Weapon. But for some reason, I didn't take the joke that way. I took it as you're Danny Glover, I'm Mel Gibson. Not, we were in Lethal Weapon together.
For
some reason, wow, God, that's awful. Oh, man.
All right, let's say another good thing about Jodie Foster.
I didn't feel like we talked about her that much.
Because I really like.
Hey, you picked
watched,
this 5.
I know, and like we done 3 films in a row of hers where she plays someone who is incredible and complicated, but also very damaged is the wrong word, but it's very determined to kind of like fix something in her life a bit. Like it's really kind of getting into like the dark essence of the soul. This isn't that, and I wish she did more of these. Like every once in a while, like. Honestly, like she would be a great Lindsay Bluth. She was the right age. Like she's got really good, warm comedic chops, and just like Life Aquatic, we got to highlight the serious actors' random comedy moments.
Sure. And if you thought she was funny in this movie, she's a riot in Contact.
Well, stay tuned next week for Contact.
I was making the same, like, she thought she was funny.
Oh, yeah.
No, she's great in Contact.
She's very good in Contact.
Yeah.
Does she have a joke in Contact?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is I don't think she does.
But she is warm.
She is warm. Mm-hmm.
Other people are accidentally making jokes in Contact. That's tape another week.
Yes, and tune in next week when we discuss the worst performance ever covered in the podcast, the history of the podcast so far. And Austin and I both agree on this. It's an actor in Contact, not named Jodie Foster.
No. And he is not in the first 5-6 billings.
Oh, man, he's so bad, though. That's a clue.
We don't do cliffhangers. This is nice.
Oh, I know. Tune in next week for that. It'll be worth it for that.
But if you want to guess who it is, you can tweet at us at the Immortals Pod, or you can send an email if you want to be covert about your guess of who the worst actor in Contact is. At Let's Take 5.
No, not the worst actor in Contact. The worst actor ever recorded on this podcast.
Episode 60 is next week, so it's worst 60 movies. Mm-hmm. Countless performances. Well, they can be counted. We're just not going to.
We unanimously agree. So.
Yeah. We can also leave a comment at theartofmortal.com about that guess or anything about Maverick. Do you love Maverick? Do you love that random Danny Glover cameo? What say you? Also, while you're there, you can check out The Immortals, the podcast where myself and 4 others review the 1,001 movies, albums, food, songs, TV shows, and children's books you must consume before you die. Yesterday, we reviewed Hannah and Her Sisters, Smashing Pumpkins, Sonic Youth, and HBO's Big Love. So that was an episode. And also, Ad Absurdum's back. Ad Absurdum came back this week after a month hiatus where they reviewed War Games. And I can definitely say the episode is better than the movie. So, yeah, check those out. Where can we find you, Eric?
Catch me at Constant Aversion. I think the next project we're working on is a Destiny video. So
I didn't know that.
Should be out for too long. We'll see.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, Ray script.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Fancy. All right, and we'll catch you all next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Now, it's time for you to do a little something that I want.
How dare you? I'm a lady, not in a million years. Not if you were 100 years old, not if I was 100 years old, not 100 years old.
I don't want to go to bed with you, lady.
Why not?
Why not? Why not? I'd be too frightened. Oh, what if I dozed off? God knows what parts of me you'd steal. I'd wake up with all sorts of things missing. But obviously, I don't know how to clean this, and obviously you must know how to. And the laundry's closed, and I gotta leave early in the morning, and you owe me. So take it easy on the starch.
If I can't touch you, I can touch your shirt and dream.
Thank you. Want a hand?
Yes, thank you.